Hey guys, it's Kelli Anne and welcome to a Flossy Friday, and I am coming at you from my cell phone again and also from my living room. So I was going to record this on my computer and have my intro and my outro, but I don't have a whole lot to show, so I thought that this would be quicker. Also, I want to say a huge sorry to one of my friends, Crafty Angie, and to Hanan, because I was supposed to mention something in whatever the next video I posted was, and I had missed, as y'all know, 3 weeks last week, and I totally forgot. And I had already recorded it a second time and loaded it up a second time, and I forgot both times. So I literally remembered like the next day. So I have been dying for this week to come along so I could finally do this announcement the way I was supposed to do it. So if you have not heard, and I'm sure most of you have, but if you have not heard about the Cross Stitchers cookbook, you need to go and check out the posts from Hanan and Crafty Angie. I will put their Instagram handles down below. But basically, they are reaching out to all of us cross stitchers and floss tubas to send in and submit some of our favorite recipes. And you can include your picture, your if you're a floss tuber, you can include your YouTube handle, your Instagram handle, Twitter, whatever. All the things that you do are a brief whatever about yourself. If there's some fun story or family story that goes with the recipe, definitely include that. But you can email all of that information about your different recipes to stitchinmisfits@gmail.com, and I will also link that down below. So don't forget, go check that stuff out. I'm so sorry, guys, but go do that. Go check it out. As far as when the book is going to be finished and put together and sold, I do not know, but I believe the sales are going to go towards a charity, so it's also for a really good cause. But they are just at this point collecting recipes, and they're going to put them into like categories. So if you can do like anything from drinks, dips, appetizers, desserts, entrees, vegetarian, vegan, stews, soups, those are kind of the same thing, all that kind of stuff. They're gonna have all the recipes separated into those different categories and put a book together, and then they're going to be sold for charity. So go please check out their IG handles. Again, they will be linked down below, as well as the email account that you can email your information and recipes to. So don't forget to do that. It'll be really fun. And as soon as I know more about when they're going to conduct sales and things like that, I will definitely put that in the video as anytime I get information and updates. So that way, if you want to put in a recipe or don't want to put in a recipe but want to help out by buying a cookbook, that'd be really awesome. So that is my announcement for that. So let's talk about haul really fast, just because it's quicker and easier. All right, so I got, I had talked about all of my Miras that I got last time. All of them. I got 2. But I had said that I had ordered the cameo design, the 25th anniversary cameo design, and it's inside of this little book. So this is actually kind of cool. This is like a 25-year celebration. So it just has a little thing about Nora, and it talks about her very first pattern, which is really, really, really pretty. This is really hard to do with your phone. And so it just goes through some of like her milestone patterns, basically. All right, so that's the actual pattern. So let me show you the finish. And all of that is stitched in like the pink background and everything, and like that tan or cream or whatever. But you could just do the black areas and make it a true cameo. But I love the look of cameos, and so I really wanted to have this one. So I received that like 2 days ago, I believe. And then today, I pre-ordered from Beth Twist, Heartstring Samplery. I pre-ordered the newest Festa Little Falls, and this is the Woodland edition. So it's really cute. There's like little deer. There's a little deer back there, a squirrel. There's an owl, little foxes, rabbits. There's a woodpecker right here, and little hedgehog right there. Oh my gosh. And a shroom. There's shrooms on the strawberry. So freaking cute. Yeah. So that also came in. All right. So also last week, I didn't do anything more to my Pretty Little Italy, but instead I started a new start because I just could not wait. Me, Michelle Bindi Stitchy, and Lollipop Stitches are doing this together, and you're more than welcome to join. It is called the Hang Ten SAL, and it is Pretty Little Hawaii by Satsuma Street. It is so much fun to stitch. So I'm doing all of my Pretty Little Cities on the same fabric. It's Crystal 16 count Ada in Confetti by Picture This Plus, because I wanted them to all look the same. And I think I'm going to make them all into like small little like pillows, I think. But yeah, coming along very nicely. I really love it. This has so many bright colors. I've substituted a few colors because they weren't in my arsenal. But some of them I was actually able to pull back out because I did something else this week, and I talked with Michelle Bindi Stitchy. Actually, I made 2 4-minute long videos to send via iMessage to her, asking for advice on my whips that I really hate the most. And I know that hate is really a strong word, and it's not necessarily hate. One of them is a hate. But not interested in anymore, or like not interested in right now. So I think there were 6 of them, and I kept 1. So the one that out of the 6, the one that I decided to keep in my whip pile was the Frosted Pumpkins Gingerbread Lane. And that's because I have started it, but I really just hate stitching it. I don't like stitching it. I find it very annoying. I don't like it at all. But I think I could force myself to get through it. And so I kept that in the whip pile. The next one that I pulled, and I'm going to frog this, is the Woodland Sampler by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. I really like that pattern, but there are a few blocks that I don't really like. And so, and also, I don't know what I'm going to do with all these samplers. So I have a ton of samplers started, and some of them, they're too far in. But also, I don't know, there's something different about all of them. But this is one that I'm just kind of like, what am I going to do with that sampler specifically? And so since barely any of it was actually finished on it, I decided to go ahead and pull it. I'm going to pick out what I've done and keep the piece of fabric because it's a beautiful piece of Fathom 16 count Ada from Picture This Plus. I'm going to keep that in my arsenal for some other stitch. And if I do ever decide to want to do any of the woodland creatures, it'll probably just be like a couple of the blocks, not the entire sampler. The other one that I pulled, and I'm going to pick out the stitches, is Clouds Factory Magical Creatures. So this pattern is absolutely huge, and while I do have a fair amount of the June block finished, it is in the middle of the fabric, and this is a really gorgeous piece of Pitch This Plus Heroic. I believe it's either in I believe it's 14 count, so it shouldn't be too hard to pick out. But it's kind of like the Woodland Creatures one. I just am not into having that entire sampler, especially not with its size. I just don't have a place for it. I'm just not feeling it anymore. There are a few pieces of it that I do find really adorable. So again, if I ever want to do any of them, piece of fuzz, if I ever want to do any of them, I'll just do the single one that I like. But that is a huge piece of fabric. That is a 4th. And so, yeah, keeping that. That's not it. This is it. The other one that I pulled is my large London. So this is not very far at all. This is literally what I've done. And this is Moon Glow by Picture This Plus. It's a really pretty yellow, but I don't love the colors on the yellow I thought that I would. I just want it to be a little bit more dingy. So I'm going to pick out what I've started, and I'm going to tea dye it just to dinge it up a little bit and then restart it. So nothing crazy. But one of my whips, I just threw it away. I just threw it away. And that was the Mystery Band Sampler by Linens and Threads. I really, really, really love the pattern. I really love the colors that I picked. I was doing the variegated in the rainbow all the way down. It was just too massive. It was too wide. It was going to be way too long. I have no place to put something that big at all. Nowhere. And I'm getting to where I only really want to do things that I'm going to find a way to finish them, so that way I can actually display them and not just have them folded up in a closet because I have no idea what to do with it. So I talked to Michelle, and like, even I want to restart that one, but I just want to do like a smaller section and do it more like a bell pull than the full blown out pattern all the way across. So it would still be just as long, but it would be a lot skinnier, which would be a lot easier to hang up somewhere and do something fun and cute with. So I had to get rid of it. The final one, I'm sure if you've been around for a while, and I'm sorry that this is shaking so much, I do not have this on my tripod, clearly. And if you recognize this, unsweet tea from the best place ever. Clouds Factory postcards. So I talked to Michelle, and I'm going to send it to her in the state that it currently is, and she's going to cut up the cities that I have finished and flat fold them for Rose. I think that that is a perfect idea because I definitely don't want to finish it. I honestly want nothing to do with it ever again. So I'm going to pack up the what I have completed in stitches, and she's going to cut it up and flat fold the different cities for her daughter. I think that is a perfect ending to that piece, because I even told her, because she even asked, what if somebody else finished it for you? And I said, if somebody else finished it for me, I still don't know what to do with the damn thing. Like, I literally just don't, I have no idea what to do with the whole thing. And she said, well, what about cutting it up? And I said, there's only 2 cities that I would even want to keep. So then what do I do with the other 8 that I finished? And so I said, you could do it and give it and have them for Rose. And so she said, okay. So that's going to go to a loving home, and I'm really happy about that. Let's see. There was one more that I asked for advice on, and that was my Hogwarts crest. And I just don't like it on the stark white fabric. And I don't like how bright it's turning out, which I know that's how it's supposed to look. But I'm going to stitch the whole thing. And Michelle, I am going to rinse out the red just in case first. I haven't done any of the red stitches, so before I do the red stitches, I am going to rinse out the thread just to make sure that it's done bleeding its head off. And I'm going to finally start working on that one again, but I want to finish it and then I'm going to over dye it so that way it even mutes the threads. So those were all of the whips that I got advice about from Michelle and what I did with some of the whips. So it knocked my number of whips back down to 37. I checked today. And I've also had 9 finishes so far this year, which is really exciting. And like 2 or 3 of them I started this year and finished this year. My majority of my starts now in my whips is from 2017. So stuff that I started last year. And that was kind of whenever I was switching to like a new style of like stitching, like newer designers and things like that. So that's still kind of good, I think. But yeah, the next like month or so, I'm probably going to have a few more new starts as I have a couple things that I want to make as Christmas gifts. But once those are finished, I have a few things that I do want to start, several, but I will also be pulling out some of my whips because like we called this year, it's the year of whips. So I am trying to finish some of the stuff that I've been starting, but also finish some of my older whips, not just things that I've started this year or last year, some of my older ones. My oldest 2 whips are both from 2014, and that is my Stitchrovia Victoria Sponge and my Hogwarts crest. So I want to get some work done on those. And then my next oldest one is my giant Harry Potter by Clouds Factory, which I definitely want to work on in the month of July for Harry Potter's birthday, which was 2 days ago. So y'all have a great weekend, and I will see y'all next time. Bye, guys.